Hey legends, Tom here from Next Gen Physio. So we're going to start off, we'll get straight into it and then I'll explain what we're going to do today. So get into this half kneel hold position. Make sure your back shin is nice and straight and you're tucking your hips underneath. So try not to just lunge forward, and we really want to avoid, by the way, I'm just turning my Apple Watch on because if you don't turn your Apple Watch on for any workout, then it doesn't count. So yeah, tuck your hips underneath, brace your core, squeeze your glute. So on this side, I'd be trying to squeeze my right glute. Don't just lunge forward and let your back extend into hyperextension, rightio? So glute on, core on. And for any of these exercises we're going to do today, nice big deep breaths. So a couple of things. You're probably wondering why the hell I'm wearing a kilt and my wife's, just doing a bit of a lifting my arms up there. My wife's hair extensions that she had for our wedding. Well, in the clinic, we have had a lot of patients coming in because we're still open. Yeah, you can touch your hands together. I'm just going to swap over to the other side now. So if you could do that for me as well, if you're playing along at home. Yeah, a lot of patients have been coming into the clinic just feeling a bit down in the dumps. You know, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in Newcastle and Australia and around the world. So here we can see, I just did a little bit of a rotation, I'm tucking my hips underneath, squeezing glutes, cores braced, nice big deep breaths in. This is the other side for your half kneel hold. So we'll have done 60 seconds of this on each side. Yeah, the world's absolutely crazy. So we wanted to do a mufti day. I remember at school, mufti day was just the funnest thing ever. I always looked forward to it. And you can bring your arms above your head. Yeah, I always look forward to mufti day. So we just wanted to try and spark a little bit of excitement and fun and joy in the clinic. And, you know, we all dressed up in just something random. I had a kilt at home that my dad bought me when he went to Scotland. And yeah, like I said, I borrowed. I don't know how happy she was about it. Some of Danielle's hair extensions. The hat was just, I wanted to wear my hat. Righto, so the next stretch we're going to come into is for our glutes, which is a figure 4 stretch. So this one's pretty self-explanatory. You weave your hands through and then you're going to, don't worry about that hat, get away, and the hair move. You can with this one, and I think you'll see me do this in a second, I just rock to one side. So you're aiming to feel this in your right glute on this side, 60 seconds on both sides. You'll just see me in a second tilt to one side. So I wanted to, these first two stretches are for our hips, really, really getting tight for a lot of you working from home. And even if you're just training and lifting, it is an area that is loaded up a lot. So it's important that we stretch that area. So I'm doing some oscillations here, which you can try. Sitting will make the hips tight. It's not the natural position that we're meant to be in. So half kneel hold, figure 4 stretch, nice, big, deep breaths in while we're doing it. You can see me just bending my knee a little bit. I have no idea why I'm doing that. I just did it. So let's swap to the other side. A few deep breaths in and some shoulder rolls. Good, just watch that kilt, mate. By the way, how good is that hair? Look, it looks like a really good mullet. But anyway, so we're on the other side. I do have undies on as well. I know that traditionally when you wear a kilt, you're not meant to, but I thought for the purposes of this video, it was a good idea. And for going into work as a physio, I didn't think it was the best idea to be wearing a kilt. So yeah, I sort of put this routine together. It only takes about 9 or 10 minutes. Generally, I find most patients anything more than that, and they tend to get a little bit over it. So don't feel like you've got to do heaps and heaps of stretching or mobility work. You get a really big benefit from 10 minutes a day as opposed to sort of not doing it, getting really, 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 really tight and then trying to do an hour once every fortnight. So we're still on our figure 4 stretch. Don't forget, guys, if you are doing this at home, nice big breaths. Try and relax your body. You want to feel it, but not in the pain cave. Let's come out of that one now. Flick your hair back, tuck your kilt underneath. We're going to come down into a lumbar extension pose. So not everyone has heaps of extension, but try not to lift your hips up off the ground. Your hands are in underneath your shoulders. Your elbows are nice and tight. Extend back through the spine. You'll feel that potentially in your abs. And you can look over one shoulder just to get a little bit of a twist. That'll be more so through your upper back, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. So extending there, we're going to do 10 reps. Half kneel hold, 60 seconds each side. Figure 4 stretch, 60 seconds each side. And then you've got your lumbar extension, 10 reps up and down. You only need 10 minutes a day, guys. And by the way, this is a general mobility program, so it might not be appropriate for you. You can kind of choose which ones as you do it. I'd recommend doing the whole thing and see what you particularly felt stretched and gave you the most benefit. In the clinic, we often, our main role when it comes to programs is, let's go back into a child's pose, and I'll just talk about that. I'll go back to that. Child's pose for a minute. So your fingertips and your buttocks should be going in the opposite direction. Relaxing your foreheads on the mat, breathing, taking it all in. Yeah, in our clinic, patients are generally coming in for a specific problem. So we'll provide specific mobility or strengthening, whatever it might be, using a trigger ball foam roller. This is a general program, right? So if you have a really specific problem, please reach out and we can help you. But for the purpose of this video, I just wanted to make it, sort of 8, 9, 10 minutes long, something that's general, but bang for your buck. You'll get a hell of a lot out of this. I can't recommend it enough. Look at that hair. Pretty proud of those extensions. So big toes facing one another. You can just see Gab there in the mirror. She filmed for me. Continue to hold that big, deep breath in. We're going to come into 10 more lumbar extensions. Looking over the shoulder if it feels nice. So yeah, I've spoken to a lot of patients and trainers and people about this, that you find yourself, not everyone, but a lot of us have a little bit more time on our hands during lockdown. Like, I know I'm still working, but on the weekends, it's not like I'm going out for dinner or catching up with people. So it's a good time. Yes, you're probably getting stiff and tight from potentially sitting down a fair bit, or your training has changed. But just, I feel like we all do have that little bit more time. So it's an awesome opportunity to work on some mobility stuff that you generally wouldn't find the time for. Righto. So we're going to come into our 4 points. So on your hands and knees, shins face straight ahead, hands behind your head, and you're just going to twist. You can bend your other elbow as you're coming underneath. Rightio. Now, I don't like to force this one. You can look up, which I'm not doing there. I'm not sure if you can hear that in the background. I'm filming this at home, but that's the ice cream truck that goes past. It does it all the time during lockdown. So nice big opening stretch through the pec. It'll open your thoracic, which is an area that gets super, super stiff when we're not, moving, and especially when we're sitting a lot. So I'm just moving on to the other side, thoracic rotation in 4 point. We're going to be doing, again, 10 on each side, breathing and opening up there. Rightio. Love this stretch. Nice mobility drill. It's a good one to do as a warm-up as well, particularly if you're doing a lot of upper body work. So we find neck pain, shoulder pain often comes from poor thoracic, so that's that mid-spine area, poor mobility in that area. Righto. So we're going to finish off. Just go back onto your knees as long as it's not painful. A few shoulder rolls. Now, it doesn't look like I'm doing anything here because I've muted the sound, but I'd like you all just to take a moment just to be grateful for something or someone. Take a few nice deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Pop your arms above your head and look up, little back bend. Come back down. Yes, nice. Give yourself a clap. Thank you so much for listening.